Alrighty, we are live, I believe, here on the Fantasyland channel, answering your Week 3 fantasy football questions. Hopefully, we're going to help you set some lineups. We're going to help you get some wins here in Week 3. Doesn't matter if you're 0-2. Let's actually take a second there and start with that because there will be a lot of people who are 0-2 and they're already freaking out and I'm not going to make the playoffs. And, my team sucks. Calm down, okay? You win 0-2, you can go 2-0. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always talk back to this story. It was 2 years ago. I started 1-7. I started 1-7 in Badaki and I's home league. I won the next 7 in a row, finished 8-7, made the playoffs. Or was it 7-7? I don't remember, but basically won 7 in a row, made the playoffs. And then I won throughout the entire playoffs, ended up winning the championship after starting with 1 win through the first 7 weeks. So 7 or 8 weeks. So it's never never is a time to give up unless you're actually mathematically eliminated. Okay.
Just never say never,
Exactly. We keep fighting over here. Do us a favor. Go ahead and drop a like on the stream as you join. And here's what we're doing. We're answering your fantasy football questions. If you want it answered straight away, drop a super chat. Otherwise, we will go in order. First question is from Hellspawn. What's up, man? 12-man PPR. Which tight end are you starting? Hurts, Ertz, or Ferguson? This would probably be Zach Ertz for me. I actually I tweeted yesterday about Zach Ertz. And because no one's talking about Zach Ertz, really. And I get it because I understand why we don't want to talk about him. He's an old player. Most of us in Dynasty would want a guy like Trey McBride to kind of take the next step. But check this out. Zach Ertz currently has the 8th highest team target share of any player in the NFL. Not just tight ends. Wide receivers, tight ends, any player. 29.5% is his team target share, which is higher than DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, and Garrett Wilson. So I don't know if you mentioned him on the waiver wire or not, but this is one of those top priorities for me to pick up at the tight end position. It's just he's not going away. So for me, it would be Zach Ertz in this question.
Yeah, look, he is definitely getting the targets and opportunity. He's not somebody that I mentioned in waiver wise, but when you look at all these options here, I do believe he is the safer play. But I think it all depends if Brandon Cooks doesn't play. I like what Jake Ferguson did this past week. He saw the end zone, and the matchup this week I do believe gets a little bit easier, easier technically with the Arizona Cardinals. So it just all depends on if Brandon Cook doesn't play or not. I'm happy to start him this week. Caught 3 out of 4 targets, found the end zone. That probably saved his day. So yeah, I think either way is fine.
No, for sure. Zach Ertz. There could be another top 5 season in Zach Ertz. Is all I'm saying.
Sure.
Hellspawn, what's up, man? He says for a 12-man PPR, who would you start at flex? Dotson, Mims, or Pickens? If Christian Watson plays, do I start him over all these guys? If Christian Watson plays, then yes, I believe I would. Let me double check his matchup. I'm still wrapping my head around. He plays the Saints.
Yeah, Christian Watson plays the Saints. George Pickens is playing another
the Raiders.
Sunday night game at the Raiders. So I'm going based off matchup. I love Christian Watson.
Yeah, I think I'll go Pickens as well.
But I'm going George Pickens, especially with the targets that we saw. 10 targets last night. Kenny Pickett not looking the best. Still believing in him to pick it up, but the connection is clearly there. Deontay Johnson just got put on IR. So I think this is another big win for the Steelers here coming in.
Could be. What's up, Crime Lord? He says, hey, guys, need help picking 2 to start. Warren, Javonte, Cook, Roscoe. Would you start a third one over DJ Moore? No, let's start DJ Moore versus Kansas City. It's a decent matchup, and they're going to need to throw the ball. 8 targets last week, I believe. If not, it's somewhere around that range, and he looked much better. Justin Fields did not look better. We were actually talking about this in our home league group chat. We were talking about Justin Fields. Right now, it's just honestly a combination of Fields not playing his best. He's not shown the progression we wanted him to, and the play calling being really, really bad. So Let's see. Hopefully they can figure it out the rest of the season. But you start DJ Moore there. So the question really is Warren, Javonte, Cook, Roscoe. If that's James Cook, I think we have to start James Cook every week right now until further notice.
Absolutely.
That is one of those players that I put a tweet out and I said, basically, here's some players I think I was probably wrong on. James Cook, one of those names. Right now he's my RB 14 heading into week 3. So definitely someone I would start if that's James Cook. If that's Dalvin Cook, then
no,
I'm starting
Javonte. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly where I was going to go. I'm going James Cook, DJ Moore here. Javonte playing the Miami Dolphins. So interesting matchup here. But excuse me, I'm going James Cook, especially with the opportunities in the air. Patrick Mahoney, how you doing, brother? Congratulations on
we got a super chat.
Oh,
so
let's
get
back
to
you,
that
Patrick.
first. We'll get to Pat in a second. Shout out to the super chat there, Gil. Thank you. Appreciate the donation. We will answer your questions straight away because you dropped a super chat. Hey guys, Jahan Dotson, Tank Dell, or Elijah Moore? It has not been good for Elijah Moore so far. Now that's not for a lack of targets or opportunities.
Exactly, and I think that's. Anyways, continue. Go for it.
So, here's what I would say. Okay, so Elijah Moore, Jahan Dotson, Tank Dell. I'm assuming you're going Elijah Moore then. Because for me...
It's tough because Tank also has a good matchup here. But one thing I would say...
Elijah Moore arguably has the best matchup, though, this
week
versus the Titans.
He has the best matchup versus the Titans, who give the 5th most fantasy points. Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore kind of packaged them as must-starts coming into this week, especially with Nick Chubb going down. I think all off season we've been saying this is going to be English is hard, a high passing offense, and that wasn't the case in the first 2 games until Nick Chubb got injured and needs to throw the ball. So I'm going Elijah Moore, and look, like you kind of were alluding to, he's still getting the targets. 9 targets is just the inefficiency with Deshaun Watson. I don't think it's Elijah Moore.
I think it's a combination of both. Like I'll say, like it's as Deshaun a non-biased Elijah Moore guy, I know you're a little bit biased. You have to admit towards him. I would say it's a combination of both. Elijah's dropping some passes. He's not where he always needs to be. And Deshaun is not hitting him where he needs to be at all moments. But you can feel like there is hope there. Like it should be clicking soon. And like we said, this is one of the best matchups you can possibly have. So I would go Elijah there.
Yeah, I'm going Elijah Moore. But yeah, I mean, if there's any confidence in anyone, I think it's Moore, especially with the targets. And Tank, seeing good production. So let's see what he can do for another week.
We need another week from Tank, but yeah, he's a fine start if you have worse options. But thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it. Over 50 people watching now. Go ahead and smash that like button. As we help your teams, you can help the channel grow. And drop a super chat if you want a question answered straight away. Otherwise, we'll go in order. Next up is Patrick Mahomey. Congrats on the W this week, man. Good bounce back.
Great bounce back here against a good team. Some would say.
Hey guys, it's the real Patrick Mahomes here. I don't know why I'm a dog though. Anyways, do you think trading for Ja'Marr Chase is a good or bad idea? Surely he bounces back. Yes, I would be comfortable trading for Ja'Marr Chase, but this is all like this question always comes down to what does it cost, right? Like right now, if you were to tell, because there's some questions around Joe Burrow's calf. If you were to say, would you trade away a Jefferson, a Tyreek, a Diggs, a Lamb, and a Monra for Chase? I don't know I'm doing that right now because we don't know exactly when Joe Burrow's calf will be 100%. He did re-aggravate it. Will it be the backup Browning? We don't know. So yeah, I'm down to trade for him, but it depends on what that cost and what that means, you know?
I agree.
Is that a Mike Williams? Is that a DK Metcalf? Is that an Ayuk? Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give me Chase, but it always comes down to the cost.
Yeah, I would agree here. And I would say the best time to trade for Chase, surprisingly, would be when Joe Burrow is no longer playing.
Like if they announce it this week, Browning's going to be the guy. You're saying that's when you go out and get him because it'll be even cheaper.
Exactly, and you're playing for the second half of the season there. That's a second half move. if for example, you're 2-0 right now, or you're 1-1, and you're still comfortable with your team, and Joe Burrow is probably going to miss this game. Somebody says, and that person that has Jamar Chase is 0-2. Bro, make that trade immediately, because in the second half of the season, when or if you believe that Joe Burrow is going to be 100%, you have Jamar Chase in the second half of the season.
You know what sucks
I think that's what I would be
the
doing.
people who drafted Jamar Chase where he went at ADP this year would probably have lost most of their first couple games. Like if they had went Tyreek, if they had went Jefferson, CMC, they probably would be winning their matchups right now. So it's been tough for Chase owners, for sure.
Agree.
But there will be better days ahead. What's up, Raph? Who would you start in the flex this week? Puka, London, Rashad White. You cannot sit Puka Nacua. You can't sit him, bro.
I was seeing this in like the comments of like my wide receiver video, and people were saying, "Why is Puka not on the list?" It's kind of obvious now.
Do you start the guy who's had 40 targets? Do we need to tell you that? Yes, you start Puka Nacua.
Exactly, you start him. Like you're not gonna. I'm not gonna tell you to sit Chase, Jamar Chase. You start him. He's your superstar. So Puka right now is looking like the superstar. By the way, wide receiver 20 in Dynasty. Out of curiosity, if you want to know that.
Okay, I did not know that.
Wide receiver 20. Yeah, that is pretty significant. I'm pretty sure he's jumped the likes of some of these rookie wide receivers. If you think about
I have a lot of Puka on my Dynasty teams. You guys know this if you've been with us over on the Dynasty channel. That was an auto pick for me in the 4th round of Dynasty rookie drafts this year. We told you guys about Puka back in January, February of this year on the Dynasty channel, talking about him as a prospect, excited about him. He was a player that we brought up a lot. So we have a lot of stock of him on our taxis, and I've had to bring him off the taxi to play him.
Same.
And in redraft leagues, we'll talk about that now. In Dynasty leagues, rather. I'm getting offers for Puka, and I'm declining offers that are 2 second-round picks. I got an offer today that was a first-round pick, and I projected it to be the 112, and I declined it. Now, that's a very specific scenario because in that scenario, I don't have my own first-round pick in that league, and I need to win. So if I were to give up Puka, I would be making my own first-round pick, which I don't have, stronger for someone else, and giving myself less of a chance to win this year. So anyway, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see how this pans out. But I mean, the dude is making history.
Yeah, he's playing great right now, and a lot of people are asking in the fantasy hotline. By the way, you go to flockfantasy.com if you want to get a personal DM with Zach and myself. So many people saying, what's the value for Puka? Should I get a first with Puka right now? And I personally said yes. If I had Puka and someone sent me a first that is projected early to mid at least, I'm taking it immediately. Oh,
absolutely, yes, same.
I love Puka. I'm just saying I think you should take advantage because there's still so many question marks later on down the road. You think of, is Matthew Stafford going to be on this team next year? You think of Sean McVay, who was going to retire. You think of Cooper Kupp as well. What is this offense going to look like? I still believe in Puka as a talent, but all those questions are still in the back of my mind for me for this offense.
You know, my worries of Stafford and Sean McVay have honestly been a little bit relieved. Like, I'm not really worried about it anymore because this team is fun to watch. It's got to be fun to play in this team, and it's got to be fun to be coached by this team. This team is not the team that we saw last year. The defense is better. Offensively, they look like they know what they're doing. And if you think about it, when Matt Stafford gets back, Cooper Kupp, who plays in the slot, Puka Nacua, who's been playing outside, that's an incredible one too. They have their Robert Woods replacement. I could see that reinvigorating both Sean McVay and Matt Stafford for multiple years. So I'm certainly not out on Puka. If someone sent me an early to mid first, absolutely, I accept that in Dynasty. However, I'm not taking a late first right now. I'm just not. Like, not when this guy is making history. Yeah, okay, so he goes from 20 targets a game to 10 targets a game. That's still super valuable. Cut his targets in half when Kupp is back. Anyway. Such an interesting conversation right now. Akshay, what's up, man? Start one this week, Pickens or Hopkins? Who does Hopkins play?
Hopkins playing the Browns. Technically, the Browns give up, at the moment...
I'd be going Pickens there.
Eighth least amount of points to that wide receiver position. Actually, they gave up the third least amount of points. Somebody I am sitting is Traylon Burks coming into this week.
Yeah,
So
I can't start him this week.
yeah, I'm going George Pickens for sure. What's happening, Skylar? How you doing? What's happening? I don't know how to say. What's happening, V double L? How you doing? Pick 3: Jerry Jeudy, Garrett Wilson, George Pickens, Josh Jacobs, and London.
Hey, pick 3 players that absolutely should start in every lineup. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean this one's a tough one. This is what I would say.
Jeudy, Wilson, Pickens. Oh, sorry. Wow, my bad.
Okay.
I mean, you also have to choose between Josh Jacobs, who
Josh
will be
Jacobs.
better. The volume's there.
I think he will be better as well. This is the 3 that I'm picking. Actually, I'm
Okay.
picking Pickens, Jacobs, and London. Now, I love Jerry Jeudy. I love Garrett Wilson. I bought in my must starts. Garrett Wilson is a must sit. I love the volume that he's getting, but I don't know if I can trust the inconsistencies. And especially if you watch that game, he broke out for that play. He saved that fantasy day for you, right? If
Yeah.
that doesn't happen,
I hear you.
if that doesn't happen, it's like I don't know if we can trust Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson connection. I love the talent, but I don't know if I want. I don't know if I can risk it here. If I need to win, if I need to win, I'm going Pickens, Jacobs, in London. I feel
This sounds crazy, but the best thing that can happen for you if you own Garrett Wilson is for Zach Wilson to come out and throw 3 interceptions again. That is the best thing that can happen for you because they will be forced to start their backup, honestly, and it can't get worse than this.
no, I cannot.
So I think for me, it would actually be Jacobs, Pickens, and then who is Jeudy playing?
Jerry Jeudy
Miami.
is playing Miami.
I'll go Jerry Jeudy there. So yeah, we're on the same page. Oh wait, you're going London over.
I'm going
Jeudy.
London.
Okay.
I'm going London just because they're playing the Lions. The Lions currently give the 3rd most points to the wide receiver position. And I like the bounce back. I told you guys to give him grace last week. I think
That's
it
fair.
paid off.
That's
so
fair,
let's
and
see
I
what
think
that-
the more I think about it, it's probably the right call. So
Yeah.
we'd be on the same page there. So in summation, Pickens, Jacobs, London would be our answer.
Yeah, hopefully that helps there. Skylar said started 0-5 one year, made it to the playoffs. I love
Exactly.
that. What's happening, Leo? Should I trade DJ Moore and Kirk for Devontae?
Yes, if that's Devontae Adams and you're getting Devontae Adams and you're losing DJ Moore and Christian Kirk, yes. I have a video coming out tomorrow talking about wide receivers that you should buy low and sell high. And let's just say one of these names is a sell high, and I think this is a great example of utilizing that week. So give me Devontae Adams there for sure.
Yeah, I'll take Devontae Adams as well. I like DJ Moore and Kirk, but yeah, I understand. Styles says, is Pitts droppable? If so, which tight end would you drop him for?
Is he droppable? Depends on the options that you would have to pick him.
I would say yeah.
for,
That's
right?
exactly where I would go. It really just depends on who's available. Is Tyler Higbee still available somehow, some way? I mean, is Zach Ertz? I would rather start Zach Ertz over Kyle Pitts right now, and I'm pretty sure he's available in a lot of leagues. To be completely honest with you, but at the moment,
I would just say as well, like in most leagues, I believe that it's more beneficial for you to add another tight end and keep Pitts than it is to
Agreed.
drop Pitts and only go to another tight end. So, yeah, hopefully that's helpful. But hey, guys, 60 people watching the stream. Thanks for watching with us. We're answering your fantasy questions today. Go ahead and drop a like on the stream. Just a simple way for you to support us as we're helping you set your lineups. Go ahead and smash that like button. Can we get to 50 likes right now with your help? If everyone hit the like button, we could. Drop a super chat if you want to answer it straight away. Otherwise, we'll go in order. How much fab are we spending on Jerome Ford?
gosh.
You know, in our home
man.
league, I picked up Jerome Ford during the games on Sunday. Okay. And then I dropped Jerome Ford for Jonathan Mingo. And our league does not have like a 24-hour waiver if you drop a player before 24 hours, if that makes sense. And Badaki went and picked up Jerome Ford. So I just dropped Jerome Ford and missed out on capitalizing.
You know what's crazy? When you picked him up, I was so upset. I was like, he's not gonna drop him, because normally what you do is like you pick him up and you wait until the game plays, and then you ended up dropping him. And I was so pumped, and once I saw that, I immediately picked him up. Look, when it
The
comes
reason
down
I
to
did
fab,
that, by the way, is because I was so strong at running back on my team, and I needed wide receiver help. So that's why, I wanted to bet on a Mingo breakout. But yeah, just bet on the wrong thing that day, unfortunately.
yeah.
I feel like they're going to bring someone else in, and I don't
do
think
believe so as
it'll
well.
be only Jerome Ford. I don't see this as a Kyron Williams situation. But what I will say is, who cares? What is Fab for? Think about it. Fab is for taking a shot on a player that can be a workhorse. That's what you have right now. Imagine if I told people after week 1 to spend 100% of their Fab on Kyron Williams, right? They would have thought you were absolutely crazy. But if they did it, they might win their league, right? So, I mean, it depends on how desperate you are. If your running back room, like me, I am in a league where he's available, my running back room's already incredible. I'm probably not betting on him. I'll let someone else kind of go to battle for him. But
I would agree there.
If I need help, spend as much as it takes to get a starting running back on your roster, even if it doesn't work out.
When you look at, I think Jerome Ford is probably, not saying he's going to be a league winner. I'm saying like he is somebody that's going to help you at least win games.
Sure.
Because when you look at the waiver wires, because this year so far, the waiver wires hasn't been as deep as we expected it to has been. I feel like in the past couple years, right?
No,
I mean,
it's been pretty good, dude.
I feel like after week 1, everyone picked up everyone. Everyone picked up Tank, Nico, Kendrick Bourne, picked up Kyron, Puka. Like all the top players were gone off the waiver wires. And now when you look now our best available player in one of our leagues, our Charlie League, Robert Woods, Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas, Josh Downs. Those are the best available players in our Charlie redraft league. That's a 12 league redraft.
Yeah, I hear you.
Jerome Ford is available, but I would agree.
Not every league is as deep as we are, and not every league is as sharp. You're playing with guys from your work or your friend group, and
True.
they might have smaller starting lineups, which lead to more players on the waiver wire or less people. So.
But I would agree. I mean, it just all depends on what that team looks like and if you need him. I mean, I have no problem sending all my Fab for him if I really need it, to be completely honest. I said it as a joke in one of our leagues. I was like, who's going to be dropping 100 Fab in our Charlie League? And I was serious about it. I put 100 Fab.
If I lost Nick Chubb, you have to spend 100 Fab.
You have to spend all your Fab.
The high IQ play, though, is picking Kareem Hunt up for nothing. Or for $10.
If he's available.
That's
what's
the
funny
high
is
IQ play.
What's funny, he's not available in, I don't think, any of our leagues.
Yeah. Everyone's sharp, though. They watch us all the time, and they watch other people,
That's true.
Anyway, over 70 people watching the stream, guys. Do us a favor. Go ahead and smash that like button. Absolutely abuse that like button for us right now. Wait, calm down. Chill out.
Relax.
Smash the like button for us. As we're helping you set your lineups, help the channel grow in return. And drop a super chat if you want your question answered straight away. Otherwise, we'll go in order. Stuck on 2 decisions here. Quarterback, Dak or Anthony Richardson. Let's start there. I don't know if Anthony Richardson plays or not this week. We'll have to find out. That was a pretty hard hit to his head on that touchdown run. Typically, I think they err on caution and he doesn't play, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Like if Jacoby Myers didn't play, I'm not sure A-Rich does. So hopefully that decision is made for you. But regardless, I am personally starting Dak Prescott this week because of the matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. You saw Sam Howell go off. You saw Daniel Jones go off. This is, if you have Dak on your roster, this is the week you start him, I think.
Yeah, completely second that here. He also says the second part of that is PPR flex, Breece Hall, Christian Watson, or Jordan Addison. I'm assuming pick one of these guys. I'm going to be going Jordan Addison here. I think he has a great matchup coming up.
Chargers, right?
He's playing the Chargers, who give the 4th most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. So he's also a must-start coming into this week for me. So I'm going Jordan Addison. Yeah,
and Addison's role should continually grow. There will be a point in the season where he's in on 2 wide receiver sets and they demote KJ Osborne to the wide receiver 3 full time at some point. JSE, we just talked about this. It's a possibility. Volpe says after Dalton Schultz or Ferguson. Okay. I would drop Dalton Schultz for Ertz. I think that's a question, right?
Agreed, yeah.
D-Hop or Christian Kirk this week?
I said to start any wide receivers on the Jags coming into this week. So if you have Zay Jones and if he's healthy, if you have Christian Kirk, I think he bounces back. Or he obviously bounced back this past week, but he's playing the Texans. The Texans currently give up a lot of points to the wide receiver room. So I'm happy to start Christian Kirk here with confidence.
Yeah, I think I'm going D-Hop for a couple reasons. I think D-Hop's his opportunities are more solid in my opinion. They're much more reliable. It's a worse matchup, but last year, if you started a wide receiver versus the Texans, it really didn't work out. And it's not because they're a good defense. It's because most teams attacked them through the ground last year. This year, no one's giving up more fantasy points to running backs on the ground. So I could see Travis Etienne having a big day. And I think one wide receiver will be good. I just don't know exactly which one that is. So I'd rather go DeAndre Hopkins. I think it's a safer floor.
Yeah. That's fair.
Where do you rank Jerome Ford? JS asks. I'm gonna finish my rankings today and put them out there on the Flock Fantasy website for you guys. Again, use our promo code LAND in the description if you want to sign up and see that. But right now, he's my RB 27 on the week, and the reason being is it's one of the worst matchups you can have. I mean, remember last week there was talk about Joshua Kelly being a start, and it made sense as to why, but the Titans don't give up points to running backs typically. They're a very good rush defense. So no. RB 27 for me this week. Yeah, not a good matchup.
Yeah, I completely agree. Not a good matchup here. But what is intriguing about Ford is that he does get some work in the air. But yeah, it's not the sexiest matchup coming into this week. So yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Andrew said drop Christian Watson for Nico Collins. No, surely there's somebody else you can drop over Christian Watson for Nico.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I
There's got to be someone else. I mean, you cannot be dropping Watson. I'll be talking about him in a video actually tomorrow morning. But yeah, you can't be dropping Christian Watson.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat here, Jesse. Doesn't look like there's any message here.
We'll wait for that message to come in and then we'll answer his question. Yeah. Is Zeke rosterable? Depends on how deep your rosters are. Puka or DJ Moore? Got to be Puka.
Has to be Puka, yeah.
Jacoby or Jerry Jeudy? We'll find out what the truth is on Jacoby in week 3, sorry.
Week 3, yeah.
Week 1, it was very obvious, that Pat Surtain was shadowing Davante Adams, which meant that you don't throw the ball to Davante Adams, right? We'll find out in week 2 if Jacoby's still going to be as good as he was in week 1. But it looked good, and the targets were very encouraging.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going Jerry Jeudy. He will get more snaps. He only played 68% of the snaps last week, and it's going to be a high-scoring game in Miami. By the way, Jesse, we do see your super chat, man, but we don't see any comment. Let us know. Go ahead and drop your question there.
Yeah,
so we can answer it for you.
You don't have to do another super chat. Just comment as if you were going to comment normally, and then we'll automatically go to that there, Jesse. So we'll be waiting.
Johnny Donuts is the next question. Pacheco or Laporta in my flex this week? This is a good question. I would be going Pacheco, a player that I have no stock of in all 23 of my leagues. I don't have any Isaiah Pacheco, but this is the week if you have him to start him. It's a pretty good matchup for the Chiefs versus the Bears. Remember last week we told you guys to start Rachaad White. It's a great matchup. Rachaad White puts up over 20 PPR points. Now you have Pacheco. If there's any week to start him, it's this week versus the Bears. They should be able to establish the run in the second half.
Yeah, completely agree. Go Pacheco. They're a great matchup coming into the week.
Yeah.
Jets winning. Hopefully they do. I don't know.
They play this week. I'm trying to remember.
They play the
Patriots. They're not going to win. Sorry.
Yeah, Bill Belichick is he has Zach Wilson right here.
Oh.
Literally right here. I don't want to. Yeah. Anyways, start Kittle, Laporta. Yeah, I feel like you have to go Kittle.
Yeah, got to go Kittle there. Sean, Dynasty, trying to move Dak for Kyler, playing for future. He wants Dak plus Ford for Kyler. He hacked, I guess, what do you think maybe? Feels like I'm overpaying for a hurt quarterback, even though it's Kyler. Okay, so if he wants Ford, then say, all right, give me a second-round pick and Kyler in return. Make a counter where you're not just giving a 2-for-1, but you're also benefiting somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want Ford, then I'm going to do a second and a third swap. All right? So that's the deal. You get Dak and Jerome Ford. You send me a second, I'll send you a third, and I get Kyler Murray, right?
Yeah,
that's an idea. Someone dropped Akers, worth the pickup. Yeah, I guess, until we find out what happens.
With all the injuries with the running backs, I think he's worth
Yeah.
worth rostering until he gets traded or whatever. Brees or Pittman. Oh,
Got to go Pittman here. I mean, it's not a very good matchup for. I understand that Raheem Mostert just ran all over this Patriots defense, but they've been a good defense historically. Belichick will figure that out. And I think the more important thing is we have to see Brees get usage, right?
yeah, and that was
He had 4 carries last time.
That was my big concern last week. I understand, like, he kind of was so efficient on the ground, but I was really concerned that this Cowboys defense was going to stop him, which they did. But yeah, I mean, not only did they stop him, but he wasn't in the game with 4 carries. So I would agree there. I'm going Pittman, but I think I would be very hesitant to start Pittman with Minshew.
I feel better about Pittman with Minshew. Why am I the only one who feels that way?
I don't know. I think it's just, I don't know if I want to be starting him. I don't know. I don't want to be starting both of these guys, but I'm going Pittman over Brees without a question there, John.
Okay. Fair enough. John says, who would you rather add off waivers, Josh Reynolds or Tank Dell? Tank Dell for me.
Yeah.
Tank for me, Jameson Williams is someone that we should be talking about. He'll take that Josh Reynolds role eventually. David says, hey, y'all, 2 questions for you. First, in a half PPR league with Puka available. Puka's available. Would y'all take Ford or Puka? Second, and what are your guys' okay?
I mean, if first of all Puka is available, you're picking up Puka.
Puka's number 1, unquestionably.
You put however much fab into that, and you pick him up. I would say if you are a Nick Chubb owner, if you are a Austin Eckler owner, maybe you have. I doubt you got Austin Eckler and Nick Chubb. I doubt you got Nick Chubb and a J.K. Dobbins maybe. Then maybe I would prioritize Ford, but I don't know. I think it just really depends if you want to take that risk.
No, you got to go Puka there. He's the most valuable player. So yeah, got to go him. Yeah, that's what we would do there. JSC says, is it ever a bad idea to think when in doubt? Name value matters for fantasy.
I mean, like name values do value for fantasy. I think, like, for example, Devontae Adams is a big name value person. When you think of Devontae Adams, if he has 2 bad weeks, but if you go against someone like hypothetically Christian Kirk, who has 2 amazing, or Puka Nacua, let's just say this. If it's Devontae Adams that has 2 bad weeks with Jimmy G, or Puka Nacua, who is just bowling out, I think a lot of people are still going to be going versus name value at times. Because of the history that we've seen with Devontae Adams. So I think there is sometimes it's hard to go with the name value, but you sometimes have to follow the trend as well with Puka. Like right now, if you're telling me who I'm going to start is Puka or DJ Moore, is Puka because of the trend.
Yeah.
Right? So
should I start Calvin or DJ Moore? I think we both go Calvin there. Calvin was still fine last week. It just didn't work out, guys. 8 targets on the week. Yeah. And we talked about this going into the week. I know it's like, oh, really? You guys think you're smart, but you should have expected a better game for Christian Kirk last week. Now, should we have expected 14 targets? No, but we talked about how bad the Chiefs are versus slot wide receivers, and we also did not know that Zay Jones would be injured for part of that game. So, Calvin Ridley is going to be the play. I would say almost every week I'm going Calvin Ridley over DJ Moore.
Yeah, I agree. I completely
Shane
agree.
says start 2, Brees, Brian Robinson, James Cook, Jerome Ford. I know Robinson has been great, but he's against the Bills defense. This would be James Cook for me and Brian Robinson.
I feel more comfortable starting Brian Robinson. I would say this.
The fact that Gibson is irrelevant pretty much is very good for Brian Robinson.
Yeah, and I'm going Brian Robinson here. I was going to talk about Ford, but I think Ford has a terrible matchup, so I don't trust Ford coming into this week. So give me James Cook and Brian Robinson.
We did have a couple super chats. Jesse donated a super chat, and then he asked his question below. So Jesse, thank you for your super chat. He says, Alvin Kamara's value in a 16-man one running back. I've been offered 24 and 25 second. I guess that's like second round picks.
So you got a 24 and a 25 second for Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
like you're receiving
two
him?
seconds. You're getting that. in return in a 16-man. The issue is in a 16-man, if you think about it, like that goes from maybe pick 13 to maybe at best pick 17. At worst, you're looking at like pick 31, right? Which is like that's not very valuable in a 16-man. In that format, I need a first-round pick because I'm essentially getting a second. Like if a competitive team, first off, it's only a competitive team that's trading for Alvin Kamara in a dynasty team right now, right? And if they're sending me a first-round pick, it's likely equal to a second-round value anyway in a normal league. So yeah, you have to get at minimum a first, at minimum.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with getting the first there.
So,
see what you can squeeze out there, Jesse, and I think let us know. If I'm not mistaken, don't you have the hotline, Jesse?
I think he does, yeah. So feel free to message us there anytime.
Yeah, 100%.
A couple other super chats,
though.
yeah, from Tyler.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, man. We'll get to your question straight away. Start Goff or Love if Burrow can't play.
Jared Goff playing the Falcons,
Mhm.
and Jordan Love is playing the Saints.
Yes, I would be going Goff here.
I would be going Goff as well.
And look, Love has looked great. This is not a defense that I really want to play against if I can help it. Whereas Jared Goff at home, we know how good he is at home versus on the road. I'll go Jared Goff there, but it's very close. I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Love is the highest scorer, the higher scorer, but I'm going Love myself.
Yeah, I agree.
Goff myself.
I'm going Goff myself here as well. Feel a lot more confident, but I think you should also have confidence in Love. He's been playing great.
Yeah.
If you want to go there, big breakfast. Should there be panic for D-Watt in Dynasty?
I don't think so.
I say give him more time. Give him more time. I think. Yeah, I mean.
No, I don't think we should be panicking just yet. I mean, played two really good teams. He's in a good conference. Give him time to really get into his zone, to be himself. But no, I'm not panicking just yet. And he's still been a top 15 quarterback for fantasy purposes. They cannot move on from him with the contract. Like, guys, it's not like a contract where it's like, what's the out? It's like, no, you've guaranteed all of the contract. So, no, I wouldn't panic on him just yet myself.
I think he's still also getting his feet wet, you know? Like, I think there's just so much still to be excited for with Deshaun Watson, but we'll see. Jermaine,
I'm back.
I'm back. Trade Connor, Stevenson, Kelly, and Akers for CMC. How did I do? I have Bijan, Kyron, and Jeff Wilson as of now. Connor, Stevenson, and Kelly, and Akers.
I just don't know who accepts that deal, regardless of format. So you did well.
Yeah, you did great getting CMC and having Bijan there. I mean,
even if that's dynasty. If that's dynasty or redraft, I don't understand how that deal gets done. You did well.
Yeah, I agree.
We have another super chat coming in from B. Zinski. Thank you for the super chat, man. He says, Warren Ford on waivers. Invest my 70
NJW. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming
it.
Is that like Fab? I mean, maybe there's a different way of Fab. So if you have like 70 Fab that you want to invest in somebody
70 NJW. Maybe just tell us what NJW means. We could be idiots here.
To lock in.
So it's essentially Fab, is what he's saying.
Essentially Fab. Okay. I mean, I'll personally be putting in for Ford if you really need that running back.
Yeah. How I would play it is, I would put, let's say, 70% of my Fab if I need a running back on Ford, and if I miss out, someone goes 100% of their Fab, then go ahead and put 30% of your Fab on a Warren and hope that you grab him. Either way, just your league better. Just make sure you're grabbing one of these guys if you are in need of running back help. That's how I would play it. But thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate that.
Agree. Yeah, thank you so much, man. Next question, Joe. He said Ford or Mostert. I'm going Mostert this week. Don't love the matchup for Ford. Raheem is playing the Broncos, even though that's still a tough matchup technically.
I'm going Mostert, man.
Yeah, I'm going Mostert. Exactly. I'm going Mostert. It's still a tough matchup, but I mean, Mostert kind of had a bounce back this past week against the Patriots. So
yeah, he had a bounce back, good. And if Brian Robinson can do it, okay, I don't want to disrespect him, but like I feel like most people could do it.
You're
Brunelli,
disrespecting B-Rob.
Yeah.
All love.
Brunelli says, "What's up, guys? Who should I pick up on waivers? Pierre Strong, Sean Tucker, Kendre Miller, or Tajay Spears?" Okay, let's start with that first question. The priority for me here would probably be Tajay.
Tajay, yeah, it'll be Tajay for me as well. I think he gets the most time on the field out of anyone here.
Now,
so I'm
Kendre has a really cool opportunity this week because it's the week right before Alvin Kamara comes back. Jamal Williams is injured. He won't play, and Kendre should be the starter if he's healthy. That is really cool. So there's a chance that he really establishes himself. However, at this point, with only one game to prove himself, I think I'm going Tajay there. Also, I was offered Garrett Wilson and Devon Achane for Higgins and QJ. Should I take it? Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I would do this. I know. I mean, if you think about it, Devon has been on the field, and neither has QJ. So
yeah,
neither has Quentin. But what I do want is Higgins, even if Joe Burrow is injured or not, long term. So give me Higgins there. Curious gets me with Zach Wilson at the quarterback. I completely agree there. But appreciate you. Death Lord says, which player should I flex? Jamal Williams is ruled out. Full PPR, Zay Jones or Raheem. I think if Zay Jones plays, I'm interested in starting him. But yes, I am going Raheem Mostert this week.
Yeah. Raheem is my RB15 this week. That's how high I am on him.
Let's see. I mean, look, I'm not saying it can't happen.
He's the RB6 so far.
I think the Broncos
19 touches last week. The Broncos defense gave up how many points to Brian Robinson?
I was going to say, the Broncos defense is not what it seems to be versus the run game.
Yeah.
So it looks like moving forward, if this trend continues, you could start running backs versus the Broncos here, which was our concern coming into the start of the season, right? So we'll see that. Ben loves the haircut. Shout out to you. I mean, nice and bald there.
I guess it is a haircut. It's more of a buzz, but I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we had to change it up, right?
Yeah, Maximus says, should I roster Joshua Kelly or Nico Collins? I'm going Nico Collins here.
Absolutely Nico Collins. Yep. Hopkins or Algier this week. I would go Hopkins.
I'm going Hopkins as well.
Joe in redraft Dynasty. Hold him in Dynasty. You should not devalue Joe Burrow. Like how you value Joe Burrow before the season in Dynasty is how you should value him now. In redraft, you might want to add a quarterback too because we don't know when he'll be healthy. Deathlord says, also, for someone who's playing against Nick Chubb and Saquon this week, should I be celebrating since both are ruled out? Nick Chubb obviously out for the season, but should I be celebrating? No. Shouldn't be celebrating any injury to any player, but obviously it's good for your fantasy team, but much worse for someone's real life.
I guess it just depends on who that fantasy team has in replacement, but yeah.
You have a better chance to win. D. Holly, 16 team PPR Dynasty, 3 empty spots. Should I waste number 2 priority for Breida, Berrios, Westbrook, Akini, Matt Collins, or Calvin Austin? I would honestly rather have Calvin Austin than Matt Breida.
Exactly. So. I agree. I'm going Calvin Austin there as the priority. He looks like he's getting involved, and he's the younger guy. I think he has the highest draft capital as well, if I'm not mistaken, out of those guys. So I'm starting that. Ty said Freiermuth or Hunter Henry. You have to go Hunter Henry, I feel.
The usage for Pat has been really, really disappointing. I mean, you're telling me that Deontay Johnson's not on the field and you give him 1 target? Like, what? Why? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
I agree. It's definitely tough.
So you might have to ride the hot hand for now.
Yeah, Hunter Henry is the go for me. Patrick Mahoney. Is this a good trade? I got Jamar Chase, but I give away Brock Purdy and Terry McLaurin. I have Kirk Cousins as my starting quarterback, by the way. And if this is redraft, and I'm okay
quarterback. Is it 1 quarterback?
I'm assuming it's 1 quarterback. If this is 1 quarterback, I'm happy to do it. If this is super flex, I think I'm second guessing because the next question would be who is the other quarterback that is replacing Brock Purdy. If this is 1 quarterback, I'm doing it.
Yeah. In a 1 quarterback, I would. In a super flex, no. What's up, MP? Welcome in, my man. What's for lunch? Joe says, can I trade Hunter Henry for a running back or a wide receiver that's any good? To be honest, Joe, I'll just say in my leagues, no, I don't think no one's trading for Hunter Henry for any valuable running back or wide receiver. They will just rather stream tight ends every week, you know? So in my league, no, you couldn't, but maybe in your leagues. It just depends on how your league mates play the game. I think in general, though, most people would rather have solid running backs and wide receivers and stream the tight end position unless it's one of those elite guys.
I completely agree. I mean, I have the trade for trade away running back video coming up this week, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think anyone wants to trade away their running backs, especially with all these injuries coming up. So I might bring a little bit of a different spin to this video, this week's video here, guys. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, in our home one quarterback league, I went double hero RB start, and I'm like holding my breath almost because I've picked the right ones so far. Right? I didn't draft Saquon. Yeah. I didn't draft Chubb. I drafted Bijan and Tony Pollard in my first and second rounds. But like every week, I'm like, oh man, like.
And please. You're looking around, and I'm looking around because I'm somebody that drafted J.K. Dobbins, and I just have J.K. Dobbins. I also have Austin Eckler in one of the leagues, and I'm just like, I'm scouring all of our league mates for running backs, and nobody wants to trade running backs specifically. Because of all the injuries. So it's going to be a tough week for running backs for a lot of people here.
Yeah. Leon, what's up? Standard, Swift and Ford available. Should I drop Pierce or White for either? So standard, no PPR. You know, man, do you prefer Swift or Ford? I understand Swift went crazy last week, but he's not getting 30-plus touches every week, and he's not facing the Vikings every week. So he'll come back down to earth, and Kenneth Gainwell will be back. And there's no PPR involved.
Yeah.
I think you keep Pierce.
Yeah, I think I'm still going Pierce. Even though he hasn't been amazing whatsoever, I think the opportunity is still there on the ground.
I think I might be... Man, White was really good last week, though. It was a good matchup.
Yeah, it was a good matchup. I'm interested.
There has to be lesser options that you can drop to get one of these guys on your team.
Yeah, 100%. I think there should be lesser options, but I think all these guys should be rostered. That's the problem. Yeah. That's why I don't think you should drop any of these guys.
Hey guys, shout out to the over 70 people watching the stream. Can you do us a favor? Can you help us get to 50 likes? Go ahead and hit that like button. As we're spending hours of our time helping you set your lineups, maybe you can just do us a favor and hit the like button to help the channel grow. Drop a super chat if you want your question answered straight away. Otherwise, we will go in order. Dahali, should I waste my 6th priority for Kansas City defense? No.
I agree. It's a good... Go for it. All right. It's a good trade to give away Kenneth Walker, Olave, Goddard, and Fields for Bijan, Kelce, and Flowers. I'm assuming this is redraft. Okay, so trade away.
So you upgrade from, like, this type of question is like context is everything, you know? So you upgrade at running back, you downgrade at wide receiver, you upgrade at tight end, and you lose a quarterback. So who's your other quarterbacks? Who are the wide receivers that you're rocking with now? You know, like context in that question is super important to give you a good answer. But overall, I probably prefer Bijan, Kelce, and Flowers.
Exactly.
Assuming you can like stream a Kirk Cousins or something. Who knows? Or a Brock Purdy or something.
Yeah, I will go there as well. Standard, do I drop D-Hop or Pittman for Nico? Once again, this is all these guys should be rostered.
League or something.
This must be an 8-man league standard. All these guys should be rostered. I'm still keeping D-Hop and Pittman personally because both of those guys seem like they're getting the targets. Actually, Nico, I think, is out targeting D-Hop right now.
Well, Nico's the truth. I got a video on him coming out this morning, tomorrow morning for you guys.
Did you just say Nico is the truth?
Okay, you can't like him and then be out on him for an entire offseason and then be like, wait. You were out on him this entire offseason.
I've never said, okay, first of all, I've never have been out on Nico. I've always said it's going to be a hard for him to come about. I wasn't expecting this. No doubt about it.
You cannot claim that you were a Nico guy this offseason.
I've never said that. No, not this offseason. I've been a Nico guy in the past. You've been strongly not Nico in the past. I'm not saying I am a Nico guy this offseason specifically.
I'm just saying, like, I can't give you flowers. If you stuck to it this offseason, for sure, I'd give you flowers, but you didn't. But
No,
here's what I'll say: like
that's fine.
he absolutely looks incredible. Of course, he looks great. The breakout's here.
Love it.
Should have stuck to your guns there.
I have plenty of Nico, so I'm kind of chilling.
Didn't you trade him away for a third in a dynasty league or fourth?
Yeah,
what was it? A third or a fourth?
I trade one of my Nico stocks for a third. Yes,
you got
one out of the 6 that I have of Nico.
That doesn't sound like belief to me. Death Lord flex
Sure.
one full PPR. Raheem, Tyler Lockett, Terry McLaurin. This would probably be a Lockett for me.
Yeah, Lockett's a must start coming into this week.
Every week,
so
almost, it feels like
I'm
it.
going Tyler Lockett.
And man,
Yeah.
they're not using JSN at this point of the year the way I guess like it's expected. He's not in 2 wide receiver sets, but
I just don't think they want to put him in as much because he's still not 100%.
yeah. Well, that could also be a case, the case for sure. I'll say this: if you own JSN in Dynasty, there's absolutely zero reason to panic. Should have expected him not to be the number 1 receiver with the guys he's competing with, right? That's why I said Jordan Addison was my pick to be the number 1 producing receiver in his rookie year. I still prefer JSN in Dynasty, but context is important there. But anyway,
Yeah.
8-man, what receiver should I sit out of Diggs? How are we supposed to answer these questions?
I think if you're 8-man, you close your eyes and you hope that, and this is no offense to people that play an 8-man. I know like these are legitimate questions. Genuinely, you're probably saying, I don't know who to start, but how can we give you the right answer without being wrong?
Yeah.
Like this is why we encourage you to play in a 12-man or a 10-man, because 8-man is like everyone's team is good and everyone should be started. Right.
Exactly.
So, Uncle, we want to give you the advice. I mean, at the moment, you're starting Diggs, Lamb, Puka.
I guess you sit
With-
Cooper, Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, you probably have to sit him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but all these guys have to be started. So sorry, man. So sorry.
No Limit says trade Devontae Adams or Diggs for Chase. Thinking about Burrow and Chase stack. Devontae Adams or Diggs for Chase. Like
If there's
right
somebody
now,
that-
I don't really want to make that move because I don't know when Burrow is healthy. In Dynasty, it's a no-brainer, but in redraft, I'm not sure I want to make that move right now myself.
I would agree. I would say if there's somebody I am going to be trading, I think it would be Adams for me, but I would agree. Like, I don't know if I want to make that move personally.
I'm ready for you
right
to
now.
eat cinnamon.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Need 2 running backs, 2 flexes, full PPR. Ken Walker, James Cook, James Conner. Okay, 2 running backs and 2 flexes. So this should be pretty simple. You start Ken Walker, you start James Cook, you flex Deebo Samuel, you flex, I guess, probably Nico Collins there.
Nico. Yeah, I agree.
Who does Nico play
Keep it
this
simple.
week? My rankings aren't pulling up.
Nico's playing the Jags.
Okay, yeah. Go Nico then.
I just think this offense is completely different from what we expected. I mean, CJ Stroud is throwing consistently for over 40 times a game. So,
Well, I said this
Not what we
in
expected.
the video that's coming out tomorrow morning. I talk about Nico in that video, and before the season, I kept saying that the Minnesota Vikings are a fantasy factory. Defense is awful. The offense has to put up a ton of points. Great offense to be a part of, right? It's a perfect combination. You almost have a miniature version of that in Houston. Defense is awful. People are constantly able to score on them. CJ Stroud constantly has to throw the ball. It's like a mini Minnesota Vikings factory there.
and he's
with
competent enough
fantasy.
to get the ball down the
Yeah.
field, which is phenomenal.
Exactly. What is
Jets-
Alvin Kamara's value? I mean, I feel like we talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to get a first round pick at minimum in that league. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Trade
because,
Devontae Adams or Diggs for Chase. Thinking about Burrow and Chase. We answered this. You don't need to put the same question in twice, guys. Was offered JSN for Puka in one of my dynasty leagues. I immediately hit accept. Yeah, see, in
There you
that
go.
scenario, yes,
go.
you sell Puka in that scenario long term.
Love that.
Leon says PPR starting AJ Brown, Ridley, ETN, Kyron need flex. Okay, so he needs 1 flex. It looks like.
I'm going to Lave.
Yeah.
I'm going to Lave there. Olave's playing the Packers. It may be a tough matchup, versus Jair, but a lot of people were telling you to sit Drake London versus Jair last week, and look what he did. So
It's
I
true.
think
I was
Olave,
telling people to sit Drake London versus Jair. So yeah, it's Olave. I guess if you have that was more how do you start someone with confidence after one target and the way they won that game? But
agreed.
But yeah.
It wasn't just you. I think it was literally the whole fantasy community.
Yeah.
So I completely see the.
Yeah, I'm with you though. Olave.
Yeah.
What two do I start this week in PPR formats? Puka, DJ Moore, Addison, Olave.
Puka, Olave. It's like he even said Jair coverage. You start Olave. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Patrick Mahoney, the person I'm potentially trading for, Chase is 0-2 and has Josh Dobbs, executed me, and Olave. I'm 0-2, so. I think this stream seems fair. But yeah, 2-0. Yeah, so I agree. I hear what you're saying.
Ronaldo. I don't remember what the question was.
I think he was talking. I said I think it was more about like he should trade for Chase now because you're still believing in him to come back in the second half of the season. Yeah, play Nico Javonte.
Nico.
Right? Yep. So at the point is Ramondre Stevenson still. Sorry. At this point, is Ramondre still someone that you should trade, or are you at all running?
Yeah.
Injuries I think once again, it's really difficult to trade away.
Mm-hmm.
If you're telling me you have Ramondre Stevenson right now and you don't have the depth, if you were to lose him, and if you were to trade Ramondre Stevenson for a wide receiver and you lose him and your next running back to come up from Ramondre is
Khalil Herbert,
you need to keep Ramondre Stevenson.
Agreed.
You don't want to lose any running back depth at this very moment. In fact,
it's all contextual. You're 100% correct. Unless you have two guys you feel great about right behind Stevenson, then no, you got to keep them right now with the way running backs are getting dropped like flies. Should I drop Khalil Herbert for Kareem Hunt? I think in that scenario, I'd still keep Herbert myself.
Yeah, I'm still keeping Herbert. But Kareem Hunt, if he's available, pick him up. Find somebody else to drop.
Yes, you should. That's a very good job. Well done. Leon, no worries. Thoughts on Tank Dell rest of season? So I think what often goes under discussed for any rookie who does well early in the season is we don't even expect that to happen. So for Tank Dell to do well, for Marvin Mims to do well, it should be very promising moving forward. Rookies only get more involved as the season goes along, and they only get more opportunities. So yeah, I'm in on Tank Dell. Mims. Yeah, Mims. What was Mims' game a fluke? Well, first off, he looks like a fine player, so maybe we don't call it a fluke. We call it a good performance on little volume. But he only played 16 snaps. I went back and looked at that today. He played 16 snaps, I think of 70 or something that they had. So he'll be more involved, and he earned those targets. He'll earn more. So yeah, no, I think these are guys that you want to roster.
Yeah, I love Tank Dell. I mean, he was somebody that I said you should pick up off of waiver wires if he was available. Noah Brown was placed on IR. I think is a big reason why he's stepping up here. So if he can solidify himself in the next 4 to 5 weeks, which he already did in week 2, if he can get remotely the same production that he saw in week 2, then I think he's going to be a good flex moving forward. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Daniel said, is James Cook the real deal? I started him over D-Hop last week, and it paid off. Look, I'm a James Cook believer. I mean, if you look at the opportunities on the ground, 17 attempts, 123 yards, averaging over 7 yards per carry. Obviously, it's probably the Vegas Raiders defense, but that's kind of what I was expecting him to be. He wasn't this goal line guy. It was a guy that was going to get the opportunity on the ground and in the air week in and week out, and I think that will continue coming in. So I love James Cook.
James Cook is one of those guys that, as of right now, I was wrong on, and this is an example where I absolutely will give you your flowers on this. You were a James Cook guy. You've been a James Cook guy the entire offseason. You've held strong, so I'll give you your flowers on that. I was not someone who was targeting him. Right now, it looks like it was wrong. What I will say is he isn't getting the goal line touches. It just doesn't matter yet. Now, if they're in games where it starts to matter, that's where it's frustrating. But yeah, right now he looks great. So it looks good. Huss says, if Eckler is out, start Khalil Herbert or pick someone else off the waiver wire. I would start Herbert over the names that you put there. Deathlord, I only play in 8 to 10 man leagues because I want good players available on waivers. Because injuries happen, it's worth having good players. I hear
And
you,
that makes
but
sense.
like the reason we like look, however you play fantasy, that's how you should play it because it's the best game in the world. It's extremely fun. It's high and low emotions. The only reason we I feel like maybe we talk down, we don't mean to, on like an 8 or 10 man league is it's like everyone has a good team. Strategy matters less, I feel. In an 8-man league, everyone's got superstars. Just which one goes off that week. Like, I would be so frustrated in the playoffs in an 8-man league, and I have a superstar team, and so does every other team. And, you know, I lose this week because my superstars didn't perform, but everyone else's did. You know, I feel like in a 12-man, there's much more strategy, and I just feel like the talent is dispersed in ways that
I would agree.
are different, you know?
I would say this for people that play 8-man and 10-man league, to make it even more fun, create more starts. I feel like a lot of
Exactly.
people that play 8-man leagues only start 8, and you probably have 10 bench spots, and make it bigger. You know,
that
maybe
needs
start
to be
3 wide
12
receivers,
starting lineup
Something.
at minimum.
something, and then like you probably still have availability of people on the waiver wires to pick up. So just a thought process. Yeah, sorry if you may sound rude against 8-man and 10-man.
Yeah, we don't mean
leagues,
to be
just-
that way. Like, however you can play the game, then you're doing it right because you're playing the best game in the world, you know?
I guess it's just a lose-lose for us because you'll probably ask us who to start, and we say, well, every single guy should be started, but we really don't know who to sit when you're asking us Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, or Jamar Chase. It's like, you draft all these guys in the first rounds anyway,
Yeah.
you know? Anyways, thank you for a super chat. We just got one here from Panther73. Trade Elijah Moore for Jalen Warren. Running backs are Eckler, Damian Pierce, Cam, I'm assuming that's, Cam Akers, Roscoe's tank. Starter Roscoe for Eckler right now, PPR. I'm keeping Elijah Moore. Personally, still, I think you do have some good people here on your waiver wires. Like, I don't know. I'm personally keeping. Thank you so much. Oh, well.
You know, this is a tough one because Jalen Warren has exceeded expectations, and you can make the argument that Elijah Moore has let people down. But I do think Elijah Moore is the player I'd rather keep right now. All I'm saying is one player is exceeding expectations and one player is not. You know, they're not meeting expectations. That would be Elijah, but I would still keep Elijah long term.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I would keep Elijah long term. I would say, this is a trade question. I would say if this is a waiver wire question, maybe you could drop Tank Bigsby for Jalen Warren because he's not getting any opportunity.
It's a trade though, so
yeah, it's a trade, but
I think you need to keep Bigsby unless there's like a clear option, like a Ford out there. But you could explore dropping him. But then, you know, who knows with injuries?
Yeah,
it might be you might be looking
It's
in
tough.
a couple weeks. I love Etienne. I'm not going to speak that into existence at all. Best quarterback going forward, I'm still going Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was like inches away from a 3-touchdown game, bro.
Oh my!
Like
I was watching that
inches
game,
away from 3 touchdowns
I
and
had
all the
Trevor
wide
Lawrence.
receivers going off.
and you know what's crazy? I'm pretty sure Calvin Ridley stepped on the line twice. Zay Jones stepped on the line once. It was ridiculous. And I was like, just catch one.
Yeah.
Catch one with both feet in, please. Because Trevor Lawrence was kind of balling out low key.
Yeah.
He was moving down the field, just couldn't score.
Yeah. Great.
Anyways,
I would go Kyron here over Ford for sure.
yeah.
I mean,
would
guys,
agree there as well.
I talked about this in the start sit video this morning. Guys, Kyron Williams played 95% of the snaps last week, and he saw 10 targets.
I was
My wide receiver one, if he got 10 targets alone, I would be happy with. 10 targets is ridiculous. That's like Austin Eckler type usage.
I was actually just rewatching that game before we went live. I just got to like the middle of the second quarter, and I think he scored a passing touchdown. He was getting targets. He looks explosive. Remember how Kyron Williams was like, bro, he looks slow. He lost his stock.
Here's what happened to Kyron Williams. I loved Kyron Williams, and on our Dynasty channel, I loved him. He was my RB2 in that class, which was too high in hindsight, right? And then the combine hit, and my guy ran like a 4.6 something 40-yard dash, and his stock plummeted and I had to move him way down my dynasty rookie rankings. I still liked him. I'm not going to claim it because I didn't hold true to it. I don't think anyone out there, like, I really don't think you can find a single dynasty analyst out there who was like banging the table for Kyren Williams this offseason. But it's fun. It's exciting. It's almost like a mini Austin Eckler. And if you think about it, like, maybe we should be valuing pass catchers more in dynasty, because running backs on the ground are rare to come by, and the guys who get work in the air end up being more valuable typically. So I don't know.
Yeah.
No one would have projected this, but anyway, Kyren.
No one would have. Yeah, Kyren for sure.
He was fun to watch at Notre Dame too, man.
No, he was. He looks great. He was fun to watch. Even, I mean, like I said, I was watching the 49ers games back and versus the Rams, and he looked great. He looked, once again, explosive, fast, hard running, hitting. Like, he's doing it all. And I think maybe he got his opportunity. He's riding the wave right now, and he's looking great. So I like it. I think we'll both say, for Wang here, Justin Herbert, you start him this week. Zay Flowers or Ayuk. I think Zay Flowers is a start. He's my smash start coming into this week. If you look at his matchup coming in, he is playing, I forgot what it was, the Colts, who currently give up the most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. I think you have to start him here. I think he's a phenomenal start. Ayuk is dealing with that shoulder injury. I'm not necessarily sure what that's going to look like, but he's playing the Giants as well on Thursday night, and that's a short week, so he may not play. So it could be going to Zay Flowers this week.
If Ayuk plays, I'm playing Ayuk. You know, what he did in week 1 is not what he's going to do every week, but he still got 6 targets and played 53% of the snaps in week 2. Like, this is still someone I envision finishing top 15 this year. I love Zay Flowers, but he did not have the same usage at all this week. At all. 5 targets. And honestly, if you didn't get that long bomb, you would have regretted starting Zay Flowers. It's a great matchup. I think Zay's going to continue to get better. He's a rookie. He'll get more involved. But if I have the option and both are healthy, I'm going to go Ayuk myself.
Yeah, I would agree. If both are healthy, Ayuk does sound like a good start. But OBJ is not. Looks like he's trending negative this week.
Right, but
we'll wait and see.
Didn't they use Aguilar instead of OBJ? It was like, what the hell? You're not going to target your rookie more?
No, I get it, and I think maybe that was. I think maybe that was also, a.
Nelson Aguilar,
to the defense.
17 points, there. 1 touchdown. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, I hear where you're coming from. Lost Chubb for the season, Austin says. Unfortunately, I still have E-team, but my depth is shallow, to say the least. Should explore trade options for Tyreek or just hit the waivers. Hit the waivers, man. Do not sell Tyreek Hill. You do not want to watch NFL games every Sunday and not have Tyreek Hill on your team.
I think now this is where all these guys become of value, and it sounds crazy. I think of people like, obviously you probably picked up Gus Edwards, Justin Hills, Damian Harris. You're happy for him to get at least a touchdown. Doesn't matter the carries that he gets, right? Especially if you are struggling at the running back position.
Jalen
Warren, yeah, like these are the players that are gonna. 9 points is gonna feel so big for you now.
You know what I would do is, like, I would go get Jerick McKinnon and just put him in my lineup at times as my RB2, because he'll fail you most weeks, but some weeks he will win you a week, you know? It's like, put a little volatility in there. It's almost like Jerick McKinnon is your Gabe Davis at the running back spot.
Yeah, that's so true.
Drop a like, Sean says. Appreciate you, man. Very kind of you. Yeah, currently on 65 likes. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the love. Yeah, thank you. We do have a super chat that we are going to get to from B. Zinski. We do answer super chat straight away, so thank you for that. Pickens, Addy, Flowers, Garrett Wilson, PPR. He needs 2. Man. You know
what's crazy? Well, I'm just breaking it down in my head. I think Pickens is going to continue to receive the targets, but how efficient that's going to be. Addison going against a terrible defense. Could be one of the highest scoring games coming in, I think. And Zay Flowers, kind of like what I was alluding to, a smash start of the week. So I'm going Addison and Zay Flowers for me. But George Pickens is close behind.
Yeah, I like the matchup for Pickens, and I can't deny the target share and the clear, like, want for him to be the focus right now. Whereas Flowers, it's going to have to come off of efficiency, which it could happen. So for me, it would be Pickens and Addison there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps.
I know Flowers is a good matchup. So does Pickens. I mean, keep in mind, Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers just destroyed the Raiders in week 1. So, yeah. Sorry,
and you mean like Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel destroyed the Steelers in week 1?
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay. All right, going back.
My bad. But anyway, look, you start George Pickens is what I'm saying.
Yeah. PPR crazy to want to start Nico over Mike Williams. Also have Olave, but he is automatic to wide receivers.
It's not crazy, but Mike Williams has an incredible matchup versus the Vikings.
He does.
So as much as I love Nico, you start Mike, I think.
Yeah, Mike's got the targets last week, but that also went into overtime. He was getting a lot, but yeah, the matchup this week feels great.
Probably no Austin Eckler again this week, from what it sounds.
Yeah, no timetable apparently.
So
bastards.
that only helps. Like I like Mike. Make me like Mike. Zay Flowers or Drake London. Well, this is where it comes down. The rubber hits the road for you. What are you doing there?
I like both of these guys. Both of these guys are must starts coming into this week. Drake London does have a good matchup here against the Lions, so I'm just going based off the points. The team that gives the most points, and that is the Indianapolis Colts. So I'm going Zay Flowers here, especially if OBJ doesn't play.
Yeah.
So I'm going Zay. As much as I love Drake London as well.
When I look at this question, I think to myself, is either of these guys going to get a ton of volume? I don't think either of them are going to be like a 10 target player this week. So if I only get, let's say, 5 to 6 receptions, which player do I want that to come from? And that for me would be Zay Flowers. So I would go Zay Flowers.
I think he also has the better quarterback. He has the better offense. He has more an opportunity to find the end zone than Drake London does as well. So I'm going Zay.
Yeah. Can you rank Judy, Dell, and Reed? It would be in that order. Judy, Dell, Reed.
In that order, 100%.
YouTube great Fortnite cookies. Love that. Do I start Aaron Jones if healthy or AJ Brown? Oof. You got to go AJ Brown.
Yeah.
But Aaron Jones is also a must start. So, geez. I mean, yeah, tough question, but you've got to start AJ Brown there, in my opinion.
I agree.
Aidman says, just traded Ridley, Bijan Cup, and Njoku for CMC, AJ Brown, T. Higgins, and Darren Waller. So you upgrade at tight end. I'm going to say it's even at running back, as crazy as that sounds.
I think
you win because of the tight end upgrade. That's what pushes me over.
I think if Cup comes back and he's the guy, you might regret that, but we'll see.
I don't know, because I think we expect AJ Brown to be much better. I think the Njoku to Waller move is what really puts us over the top for me.
Fair. Rivers, Jerome Ford, or James Cook will both say James Cook.
Yeah, James Cook. I agree.
Miles Sanders.
This could be. Here's what I'll say. Like, I'm ready to be on board with you on James Cook. I'm ready to say I was wrong. This could be a trap game. Washington's defensive line is legit, and if he's not in there on goal line opportunities, that's concerning.
What's a trap game to you? What's because the thing is, I feel confident in the points that he's going to get in the air. So like if they stop him, if they stop in the run game specifically, which we saw in reality in week 1 versus the Jets, we saw him get work in the air.
Yeah. I guess 10-point game, but I think people are now expecting like more from James Cook than 10 points.
I think like an even 10 to 12, anything higher than that is like great. I'm expecting targets. But if he goes off on the ground as well, he has the ability to. I think he was one of the most efficient runners last year with his limited opportunity. So we'll wait and see what that looks like. Miles Sanders or Breece Hall? I'm going Miles Sanders there.
Same.
Seahawks. Miles Sanders.
You know, I brought a couple names. It's so funny, dude, when we do our starts of the week videos. It's like if you name someone too obvious, people comment. They're like, duh, of course I'm starting this player, you idiot, you freaking clown. And then if you name players that are like on the edge, people will be like, what the hell? you're starting this guy, and like you put the context in the video and you say like, if you're in a desperate spot, this is a great option. You know, it's like either way, you can't meet in the middle and make people happy. But what I was going to say is like I chose a lot of starts of the week this week at running back that have let people down so far that I think will be better. For example, Najee Harris is one of those names. He goes up against the Raiders. I love the matchup. They give up the third most points to running backs. Miles Sanders, another one of those names. He goes up against the Seahawks. The Seahawks currently give more points to the running back position than any other team. So just saying, like in general, 1 week was too little to react to. So was 2 weeks, right? I mean, you can even throw Alexander Mattison in there. I made an argument on the video this morning that Madison probably had the worst matchups to start the fantasy year than any player. I mean, you think about it. Tampa Bay in week 1, their defensive line looks incredible. Philadelphia in week 2, the dude was touched in the backfield pretty much every time he touched the ball. So there will be better performances from some of these guys who have let you down, who have been in really bad matchups. Miles Sanders is one of those names. I think Madison is one of those names, and Najee Harris. So I like Miles Sanders this week. I guess that's a long-winded answer, but anyway, yeah.
No, makes sense. Makes sense. I like it. PL here. Thank you for the donation, the super chat. We appreciate you. Jahmyr Gibbs, usage thoughts give over James Cook.
So weird, dude. So weird.
Yeah. I mean, let's look at. I need to bring up Gibbs as I need to.
Here's a good thing.
Gibbs, I need to break it down because that's a game I didn't watch fully, so I would like to watch it. But I mean, I'm looking at it here: 48% snap share, only 7 attempts on the ground, but got the work in the air. And I think when you think of this offense, especially with David Montgomery, looks like he's going to miss some time. You have to believe that he is going to be getting the work on the ground and in the air. That uptick immediately coming into this week. And I mean, they're playing an interesting team here versus the Falcons. So
Falcons have been pretty good against running backs so far. It's an early sample size, but they've been pretty good against running backs.
Terrible against not terrible, but continue.
I'll just say, like, it is a little scary to see the lack of efficiency for Gibbs on the ground last week compared to Monty. Like when Monty's in, you know they're running the ball. When Gibbs is in, you don't know. So there should be less, stacks, defensive stacks at the front there. But what I will say is, like, the reason we love Gibbs was more for his pass catching prowess than anything anyway coming in. 9 targets is great to see. And versus Atlanta, if there's no David Montgomery, then yeah, I'll be going Jahmyr Gibbs there still. But I mean, yeah, obviously we want to see more efficiency on the ground. We want to see more touches. But to be fair, guys, he played 27% of the snaps in week 1, 48% in week 2, right? And 16 touches. If I can get that amount of touches every game for Jahmyr Gibbs for the rest of the year, he's probably a top 15 back. So I honestly would rather the touches be in the air than on the ground because I think he'll be more efficient in the air.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would go Gibbs over Cook. I don't know about you.
I am going Gibbs over Cook, but look, I think don't be surprised if Cook does have the better game. I think both of these guys could have a good game, but right now you feel more confident in the workload in Cook's in the air, but now with Monty no longer there or missing time, excuse me, you expect this workload to get an uptick on the ground and in the air coming into this week. So let's wait and see what that looks like. But I'm going Jahmyr Gibbs.
London or DJ Moore this week? I don't know where you stand on this one. It is very, very close for me. I think I'm going DJ Moore. And it has more to do with the game script than matchups. I imagine that the Bears are going to have to come from behind. And I imagine that DJ Moore is going to be an important part of that. 8 targets last week. Justin Fields is not playing well. The offensive game plan has not been good around him either. They're not playing to his strengths. But they're going to have to come back, and I'm betting on that this week.
I agree. DJ Moore. I'm going DJ. London is a great start as well, but I agree on that in that sentiment that it's going to be really based on game script.
Yeah.
Would you drop Njoku for Ingram? Njoku or Ingram for Henry and Ferguson? I would say this: Henry should be rostered.
I would be comfortable because you already have Ingram. I'd be comfortable to drop Njoku for Hunter Henry. That I would do. But no, I wouldn't. I would not be dropping Ingram.
If this is like a 10-man or 12-man league and somehow Hunter Henry is still available, which doesn't sound like it, pick up Henry anyway and try and trade one of those guys away.
Yeah.
Patrick, starting the Chiefs defense instead of the Eagles. I mean, you're questioning your own defense here, Patrick. That's very interesting. Instead of the Eagles defense this week, good idea, or am I just a biased Chiefs fan? I just trust our defense against the Bears offense. I would say this.
I'm starting the Eagles.
I am starting the Eagles against Baker Mayfield, but I will not be surprised how many times Justin Fields gets sacked in this game.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. Trade Garrett Wilson for James Cook.
I think that's actually a pretty even trade depending on the needs of your team.
Yeah, especially the way the running back room is now. I would surprisingly say I know a lot of people still are looking at the stats and saying, well, he just got over 16, 15 points this week. He technically get more.
Here's what I'll say, though. Like, thinking this one through, if you need running back, I'm fine with it. Obviously, in Dynasty, no, you don't trade Garrett Wilson away. In redraft, if you need running back, I'm fine with it. But I'm playing this over in my mind. How will the year go for the Jets? How many more weeks do you give Zach Wilson? Because it gets better after Zach Wilson. It has to get better after Zach Wilson. So how many more weeks do you get? Yes, Brian Hoyer is better for Zach Wilson or for Garrett Wilson than Zach is.
Is that who they picked up, Brian Hoyer?
Brian Hoyer is their backup right now, but name a free agent running back,
quarterback, right.
Yeah, quarterback. Name a free agent quarterback. It's better than what Zach Wilson is currently giving us. So
yeah.
Wilson, there is reason for hope for Garrett Wilson owners. It's just you have to be rooting for a bad week from Zach Wilson, which is weird. Yeah. But anyway, I'm fine with it.
I am fine with it. I just think you can technically still get more. But maybe that's my crazy mind there. Like, can I get James Cook and Elijah Moore, who's done bad? So for people that not really understanding the stats, right? But maybe I'm just in my own world there. Anyways, Trent, what's wrong with Najee Harris? What's his value these days? I mean,
I'll talk about this because I talked about him a lot this week, and I'm caught up with their situation. Some people might not know this. Najee Harris has 21 touches this year. 21. Guess how many touches Jaylen Warren has?
Oh, he doesn't have many whatsoever.
He does. Jaylen Warren has 21 as well. These guys are split 50-50.
Touches on the ground?
Touches as a whole.
Okay.
As a whole, opportunities per game, touches per game. These guys are splitting it 50-50 down the middle exactly. Last year and last offseason, Najee was a sell high for me. He wasn't someone I wanted any part of. I don't have any stock of him in any dynasty leagues or any redraft. That had a lot to do with losing Big Ben and what Big Ben meant for Najee Harris through the air. You get a new quarterback. And now the people who drafted Najee Harris thought they were drafting a volume play. It doesn't look like they were. It looks like they were drafting a true split backfield player. And that has to hurt because the reason you were drafting him is because you thought you'd get 15 to 20 touches a game. And that's not happening. So what's happening is the volume's not there. The efficiency never was. And now you're just relying on a touchdown or a good matchup. This week, it's a good matchup. So you can play him if he's your best option. But you want to get out of Najee Harris as soon as you possibly can. So that's what's happening. Like, it's a true 50-50 split.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to look up their touches because I didn't look at their touches from this past week with PFF.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's interesting. I know, I was just looking at the stats here. Jaylen Warren the past 2 days on the ground, past 2 weeks on the ground, only 3 touches versus San Francisco. Cleveland only 6 touches. But you're saying touches as a whole on the ground specifically. but opportunities
I mean,
and snap
I thought
percentages
touches
as a
is
whole,
like targets and carries.
yeah, exactly. So that's what I didn't know if you were alluding to that, but anyways,
Yeah.
that's very interesting. There, should I drop Zach Moss for Jerome Ford long term? I would do that personally. I'm not sure about you.
Man,
I
I
think
think like
Jerome
both those
Ford-
guys should be rostered, but this guy's probably in an 8-man league. I think from the questions he's been sending in.
With I would say this. I have more confidence in Jerome Ford because if JT does come back, Zach Moss has no value. But if they bring in somebody like
That's
Kareem
fair.
Hunt or Leonard Fournette, I still believe Jerome Ford at least sees 40 to 50% of that workload. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's a good point.
Coming in, Jacob says, looking to upgrade our running back. Would you trade Lockett or Puka for James
No,
Cook?
absolutely not.
No. Yeah, I agree. Next one, Adam. Should I trade a Monron for James Cook? No. You said you lost Chubb. No.
Jeez Louise.
And this is the problem. You're not trading your top wide receiver, running back.
No,
That is
I'll
not
stream.
the case here.
I'll stream.
Yeah, I'm streaming as well, and that's what I'm gonna be bringing in my video coming up for these running back, my trade for running back videos. And I'm gonna bring a completely different perspective, so keep that in mind. Timothy, PPR start Pierce, Moss, or Ford.
This would man, but I don't like a matchup from any of these guys this week if I remember properly.
No,
I
the
hate
Texans playing
Pierce's
the Jags.
Hate Moss's
Yeah.
matchup and hate Ford's matchup. So you're in a no-win situation, and I just looked at my rankings. All three of these guys, Badaki, back to back to back. 26, 27, 28. I have Damian Pierce as the guy who's at the top there, but
Yeah, look,
not
I mean,
good. Not good options.
I'm going Pierce, but it's not good either. Terry or DJ Moore. I'm still going DJ. I'm not sure.
Yeah, this week I would go DJ, but that would be depending on matchup each week moving forward.
Ben, okay, it says running back is my weakest position. Bijan, Rashad White, some stashes. Empty the clip on Ford or hold off. Not a 4-man league. Just did okay at the auction. I would empty the clip.
I would unload the clip, to be honest.
Yeah, I would do it as well. I'm
In that
desperate.
scenario, yeah, you don't have enough depth. If one injury happens, you'll be like, damn, I saved 30 fab. You know?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Bobby
don't
says
expect much this week.
I'm desperate to go without my Chubb.
Depressed.
Yeah, I think
Depressed, yeah.
depressed. Excuse me. I completely agree.
Savage, what's up, man? That's my last name. 12 team. PPR 3 flex. Gino. Okay, so he's saying our team. Offer to trade Jamar Chase and Jerome Ford for James Cook and Olave. I'll take the James Cook and Olave side myself.
Absolutely. JJ Short, Superflex PPR, need 2 running backs out of these. Well, if Aaron Jones plays, you're starting him. Well, first
And Kyron.
And Kyron,
You
yeah.
gotta play Kyron.
I like Miles, but it's gonna be Kyron here.
Yeah.
Ling Ling wants some bling bling. You seen that movie?
Is that Rush Hour?
No, it's white chicks where like he's like this
Right.
black and Asian girl and the
Yeah.
mom is like trying to be black.
Yeah.
And he's like ling ling. Anyways, Mike Evans or Debo. Thoughts if Ayuk is out, I'm starting Debo for sure. But
That makes
what
sense. That's how you should play.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how you should
Who
play.
does
But
Mike Evans play this week, though?
Mike Evans playing the Eagles, and this is the week that
is
we need to
weird.
see.
This
is
is
going
weird.
to be the week because if Baker Mayfield can ball against the Eagles,
Well-
I take everything back.
Here's the issue, though. Who hasn't balled against the Eagles through the air yet?
That
Everyone.
is also true.
So this
That
might
is
not even be a
also
good
true.
test for him.
But I mean, he is giving. If there's somebody that, I mean, look, I think a lot of the community was going with Chris Godwin, but right now it looks like it's Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Mike Evans looks
Evans
like the guy.
looks like the favorite.
Yeah. He's got the touchdown and he's getting the targets.
But Godwin had 8 targets as well this last week. So, yeah, they had the same amount of targets. Evans just ended up with a touchdown. So let's see how we go rest of the year.
It's going to be interesting. But Baker's freaking balling out over there.
He is balling out. What is he on the year? Baker Mayfield on the year is currently the quarterback 14. So not as good as I thought it was. But, I mean, still efficient. Hasn't thrown an interception.
Better than what we expected. I mean, if you look at it, he's going through his. I mean,
This
I
could be a
watched this.
rough 2 weeks though. Philly and New Orleans.
Yeah, I watched that game because I wanted to see Justin Fields and DJ Moore because
Yeah.
obviously I have a lot of stock of those guys, and I was watching Baker Mayfield's stepping up in the pocket, checking it down. If he need to, he's throwing it to his tight end, who's his best friend. It kind of feels like as well, and then taking the shot. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Death Lord, should I drop Samaje P Ryan or he's worth hold? I'm holding on Samaje P Ryan. I would say that automatically. I mean, especially with the running back injuries, hold on to Tyler Higbee or drop him in one league. I have him. I have Mark Andrews, and in other leagues, I have Hawkinson.
If you have Andrews and Hawkinson, then you don't really need Higbee, to be honest.
Agreed.
Should I start? Who do I start out of these three? I guess we choose one. Oh, geez, Sam.
Close your eyes.
Yeah.
Close your eyes. Set the lineup. You know what you should do? Go to your partner, your wife, if you don't have one,
Yes,
whatever the case may be.
exactly.
Go to your best friend. Maybe go to your mom, your brother, your sister, whoever it is, and say, "Who should I play?"
Which of these names do you like the best?
Yeah, start that person.
I mean, look, I have Devonta Smith as the highest ranked player of these three. But we know Devonta Smith is boom and bust. So is AJ Brown. Like, they have big weeks, they have down weeks. They're not necessarily bust, but like big weeks over expectation, and they have down weeks. Just like AJ Brown's had, so will Devonta Smith have. Yeah, I mean, how do you pick between these guys? Like, these are all top 13 wide receivers in my rankings.
I agree. I mean, I want to tell you who to start, Sam, but I think no matter what, you'll be fine.
Sorry, these are all top 10 wide receivers in my rankings this week, and I'm supposed to choose one.
There you go. I mean, that's the answer there, Sam.
They're all I project every one of them to be wide receiver ones on the week, like a top 12 play.
Dave Rated Nations for life. How you feel about throwing a dart at Kareem Hunt? Absolutely. Take an opportunity if he's available.
Yeah.
I think the bigger question is how much fab are you willing to spend on Kareem? So far, one of the things that I keep seeing on the Twitter sphere is that the Browns had Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt in the same room at one time, and they let go of Kareem Hunt. So, do they actually bring him back? I think with this situation, they maybe do, because he knows the offense, he comes right back in. But they let him go last time, so I'll be interested if they wait a couple more weeks to see how Jerome Ford plays out, and then give it to see how he goes. Because my concern was if Jerome Ford doesn't play well when Nick Chubb was out, which clearly was not the case. He played great, had a great run. I think he had over like 115 yards on the ground. Then they need to bring in somebody because Jerome Ford is not the guy, but he played well. So let's see how he goes for the next couple of weeks. But if he's available, I'm probably spending like 15, 20 fab on Kareem just to take the shot if I need the running back position. I'm not sure about how you feel.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Thoughts on flexing Elijah Mitchell this week? I know that's a joke, Tommy. You're not flexing Elijah Mitchell. I know you. I know that's a joke.
I think he's probably, hopefully.
Guess how many snaps Elijah Mitchell played last week?
This is it. This is it right here.
None.
You look at yourself. Maybe Elijah Mitchell gets some snaps because you'll be up on the Giants, and then we'll just come back. Maybe. We'll wait and see. Cold World, pull a lottery ticket by stashing Jerome Ford before yesterday's game since I put I'm assuming Deontay Johnson on IR. Should I start him in a flex over Zach Moss? I'm going.
Yeah, I would. It's not ideal though. I don't want to start either of those guys, but yeah.
I agree here. I agree with you.
Who do I start? Waller or Henry? Going Waller.
Yeah, Waller.
We've talked about Ford a lot. He's a fine, add on the waiver wires. If you're desperate for a running back, you can spend a bunch of your fabs on it. Which side of this trade is better? Half PPR, Ken Walker and Godwin for Etienne and Pickens. I'd rather have Etienne and Pickens, I think.
Agreed. I didn't know where you would go with Godwin there. Hunter PPR, start at flex, Zay, Brian Robinson, and Jameer. Oof.
Jameer. for me.
Yeah, I'm going Jameer. It's close though with Zafe coming in with this week. Death Lord, running backs are not worth the first round pick. They are the most injured position in fantasy. First round should be all wide receivers. And
it depends on which running backs you draft right now. I mean, like I talked about a team in my home league. I've got Bijan Robinson and Tony Pollard, and they're winning me every week right now. You know, so if you hit on the right one, yeah, they're worth it. But the issue is that it's a higher percentage chance that a running back goes down season long than a wide receiver. So I definitely hear the sentiment. I think we saw a lot of people rallying around 0 RB strategy this offseason, and that's going to be even stronger next offseason. In fact, I think we will see it be standard now to go 0 RB. I think that will be standard procedure for people because of injuries, and it makes sense.
Yeah. We'll wait and see what that looks like coming into next year. But it can go so many different ways for sure. We'll probably be live for another 20 minutes here, guys. We'll be off at the top of the hour. So keep that in mind. If you have any last minute questions, throw your super chats in. 70 people still watching, 67 likes. We appreciate each and every one of you. We'll try and get to every single one of you guys here. Where we're at. Dirty Harry, how much fab are you spending on Ford? I think we spoke about that. Depending on your team, we're spending as much fab as possible because of how bad the running back position is right now.
Yeah, how desperate are you is a better question. Because if you're desperate, then you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah,
Jerome Ford or James Cook?
I think we answered that potentially. Tunchi, should I accept? This is so random, but did you see anyways, it's too long of a story to kind of get into it. Should I accept Lockett to give up Mostert? My running backs are CMC, Monty, Mostert, Roshan, Elijah Mitchell.
I'd rather have Lockett rest of the season.
I would rather have Lockett, but I mean, this running back room seems really tough. But I'm not giving. I don't think Mostert is the answer long term, especially with that injury history.
Yeah.
So give me Lockett. It
feels like you're holding your breath every time he plays.
If you can trade Lockett for somebody else that we feel more comfortable in, I mean, I don't know who that can be. Like, I know Alexander Madison having bad games. Can you trade Lockett for Alexander Madison? Miles Sanders.
Even as a Madison guy, I don't think I would do that though.
You know, but there's a couple of names out there that would be interesting, but I don't think Mostert is the one for that trade. Patrick Mahoney, is there a place where I can send you guys my team to rate? I mean, this is a perfect segue here, Zach, if you want to take that.
Sure. Perfect segue into what we offer over on the Flock Fantasy website. So if anyone out there is looking for something like what Pat Mahomes is saying here, I'll put a link in the chat. It's also in the description. flockfantasy.com/land. You got to use our promo code LAND when you sign up for a couple reasons. Number one, you'll get our perks. Number two, you get 30% off your membership. But over on the Flock Fantasy website, you can see what it looks like here. When you sign up, you get everyone's articles. We have a great team over there from some of the best content creators in the industry. Everyone's articles. You'll get my weekly rankings, which, by the way, I'm updating those today. Those will be up later today. But my weekly rankings, over 300 plus players ranked. You'll get access to season-long rankings before the year, bonus videos, draft guides. And then we also offer something called the Fantasy Hotline. The Fantasy Hotline is a direct DM to Badaki and myself where you can ask us questions all year long. Now, you have to choose a Mother Flocker tier to unlock the Fantasy Hotline, but that is your option. You know, there are plenty of people who have been supporting us for a long time. They've been using the Fantasy Hotline, and they absolutely love it. We answer questions every day from our supporters. So again, if you want access to something like that, use our promo code LAND, sign up to the Flock Fantasy website, and DM us on Discord. We'll get you all going. And Pat Mahomes can afford it. You know, just sign another contract.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes. I mean, hey, congratulations on
Pat
the
Mahomes
contract.
could afford 1,000 memberships if he wanted to. Wouldn't blink an eye.
100%. Thank you so much for your support. I mean, in advance.
Yeah,
Patrick. So, RGQ. I have Bourne and Shaheed on the bench. Should I drop any of them for the following? I see two people that I would say.
There's a lot of
three
players
people.
I would drop them for.
three people that I would say you can drop them for, and these are my three: Tank Dell, Brandon Cooks, Elijah Moore.
Exactly.
Those are the three that I would drop Bourne, Shaheed for personally.
Mm-hmm.
I think those three people that we just named should be rostered.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone else,
good.
Go for it.
I was gonna say this gives me a lot of confidence in my trade video that I'm releasing later today. So it's good to know that Brandon Cooks is still on waivers. That's good to know in some leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I love Brandon Cooks. Yeah, I have a lot of him, so believing for him to kind of bounce back here.
Yeah.
Jigsaw, Philly, David Montgomery, Kenneth Walker. What's the question here? Ooh, okay, so David Montgomery, Kenneth Walker, Terry, and Garrett Wilson for Mike Williams, Aaron Jones, and Michael Pittman.
Okay, geez Louise.
I'm going. I think it depends on how bad Monty's hurt. But I'm still going Monty, Kenneth Walker because of how bad these running backs.
Two starting running backs there. When Monty's not going away, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not going away. And I know he was a my guy this year, but still, like you can even agree with me, right? Like he's not going away.
No, what's the thought process on Monty's injury? Did we have anything?
So from what we understand, it was a quad injury. There's a chance he plays this week, but it's most likely something that he will sit this week for. They'll reevaluate it next week. But there's very little chance of like it being a season-long concern.
Okay, that's fantastic. And I think with that being said, I want Monty and Kenneth Walker long term. Terry will kind of pick it up. And as much as I've been saying about talking about Garrett Wilson, I still believe in the talent. But at least you got Terry and Monty and Kenneth Walker in this scenario. So that's where I'm going.
If you think about it this way, the Jets, like we said earlier, I might have said the wrong name, but Tim Boyle is their backup. Honestly, Tim Boyle is better for Garrett Wilson than Zach Wilson currently is. Current free agent quarterbacks. Let's look at who's the current free agent quarterbacks, by the way. Joe Flacco. Bring Flacco back, baby. That would be better.
He knows the offense, I think.
Like, it only takes one more 3-interception game for them to be like, all right, see ya. Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan wants to play still, I think.
Matt Ryan does want to play still. Holy shit.
How good would that be? How about Colt McCoy? Colt McCoy, bring him in. That's not worse than Zach Wilson. There's plenty of names out there where you're like, all right, it's...
I want Matt Ryan.
It could be better.
I want Matt Ryan already. I want him now.
Phillip Rivers. If I had my number one choice, it'd be Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what Matt Ryan did with Michael Pittman in the past. We saw what Phillip Rivers did with all those other wide receivers in the past. I mean, give me those guys. We got a couple super chats here. We appreciate you guys. We'll get to them right away. That jumps the line. Once again, guys, we'll be live until the top of the hour here. So get your super chats in if you want to get your questions prioritized. Zach says 2 quarterback leagues, PPR, Chubb. I'm assuming you have Chubb. Running backs are Moss, Gus, Hill, Madison. Oh my goodness. Wide receivers are DK, Olave, Addison. My QBs are Herbert, Fields, Love. I have been offered Brian Robinson and Devonta Smith for Herbert.
Is this it's a 2 quarterback league? No. Sorry. No. Quarterbacks are Fields, Herbert, Love. No, you're selling Love. You're selling Love, not Herbert.
I would agree there. I would say this. If Brian Robinson was somebody else, what if Brian Robinson was a Ramondre Stevenson to you?
That would be better, yeah. But Brian still, Robinson. You can't undervalue how important quarterbacks are in a 2 quarterback league. It's not even Superflex. Like, if Love goes down or Herbert misses a week with a rib injury or you're losing a week, probably, if you get rid of one of these quarterbacks. Do you know what I mean?
No, I completely agree. I mean, and Justin Herbert, if I'm not mistaken, on the year so far, what is he? Top 3, top 5 quarterback. He's been playing lights out. I mean, both of his games, I felt like they're
0-2 somehow, but yeah, he's QB3.
He's QB3. He's thrown for, I feel like nearly 500, 600 plus yards in the first 2 weeks, which feels crazy.
Yeah, you cannot, in a 2 quarterback league, maybe Superflex. But if one of those guys goes down and you only have 2 quarterbacks, you're screwed. Through bye weeks, you need to win. You're screwed. You're just going to leave no one in that quarterback spot, as crazy as it sounds. I know this looks like a good trade, but no, I think you're getting raw dogged on this one, Zach.
You're getting raw dogged. I would say this. Since your running backs are so bad, I'm entertaining this trade if Brian Robinson was somebody else. And I'll give you the following names that I feel with. I named someone like Ramondre Stevenson. Um, I think of someone like a Kenneth Walker. I think of someone like an Aaron Jones who's hurt right now. Can you sneak Aaron Jones in? That may be a high price for this guy. What about a David Montgomery who's also injured? I'm willing to take that chance. Joe Mixon hasn't had the best games either so far. Those are names I'm willing to go with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying in a 2-quarterback
because
league.
of this
And
format, I am not trading away Justin Herbert. It's just not happening.
Yeah, but Herbert, I would agree. Herbert wouldn't be the guy I wouldn't trade away. But once you go to Love, I don't think that's going to be the same.
No, I agree. But you can still get value for Jordan Love in a 2-quarterback league. I mean, at this point, 2-week sample size, and you get Christian Watson back, Jordan Love should have immense value. He's the quarterback 2 on the year. He should have immense value in a 2-quarterback league. You should absolutely be able to use him in a trade. But what's important here, Zach, is if you're going to trade away Jordan Love, you need to get something back. Even if that's like a Kyler Murray, even if that's a Josh Dobbs, even if that's a Jimmy G, you cannot be going 2 quarterbacks in a 2-quarterback league. You are 1 injury away from losing the league entirely. Like you put yourself in a position where every week there's a potential that you lose your league unquestionably. You know, let's say you trade away Love right now, a different deal. Okay, Fields goes down because he's a rushing quarterback. You lose every game for the next 6 weeks because everyone else has 2 quarterbacks they're playing. You have an empty spot. Instead, in that spot, you put a freaking, name a backup quarterback, and you're just hoping that they play. It's you just cannot do it. You can't do it.
Yeah, I hear you. But hopefully that's helpful, Zach.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
Another super chat there from Sam. Thank you for the super chat, guys. We're going to be live for another 9 minutes, so make sure you get your super chats in if you want your question answered. Otherwise, we'll do our best. He says, I'll have this question every week. Who should I start at quarterback 2? Jared Goff or Brock Purdy? This week, I'm rocking with Jared Goff. Jared Goff at home. Feel better about him at home versus away. So, yeah, it would be Jared Goff for me. Brock Purdy goes up against the Giants. Still a fine matchup, but I'll go Jared Goff this week. Very close.
Agreed. I agree. All right, going back up here. Where did we leave off?
Panther was the next question. Tony Jones and Breida are the best available running backs. Pick up Breida then. But honestly, here's the thing. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think I'm picking up Breida anywhere. So
it's tough.
Saquon misses this week, right? Are you starting Matt Breida versus the 49ers? I'm not. So
I would say this. I agree. I don't think the 49ers. I mean, were we excited to start Kyron Williams last week, and look what he did? But that's
Kyron Williams is getting a lot of different work.
Yeah, and he's significantly better than Matt Breida. I'm not saying I like Matt Breida and you should start him, but I think he will get work in the air. But yeah, I think it's not sexy whatsoever. I don't want to be starting Matt Breida, and that's kind of, I alluded that to in the waiver wire pickup in the video as well.
Yeah. That's true. David says, don't forget to hit the like button. Appreciate you. Volpe says, I'll be probably asleep when you read this, but just want to say thank you. No worries.
Appreciate you.
Jeezy says, I'm 2-0. Running backs aren't great. Gibbs, Monty, White, Warren, Sharps. It could be much worse, man. Should I move some wide receivers to upgrade at running back or sit on Warren and Sharps and hope they pop? Wide receivers are Hill, Olave, Keenan, DJ, Puka, Addison.
I don't think so.
It depends. Like the question to me is like, are you only how many wide receivers can you start in this league? Is it a 3 starting wide receiver league with 3 flex spots? Then no, you don't move those wide receivers at all. You don't even think about it. Is it a league where you start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex? Because in that scenario, yeah, I need to upgrade at my running back position. Context is everything, you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
I think Miles Sanders has a great week this week compared to what he's been doing, at least. I expect him to have at least 12 points this week. Should be a bounce back for him here in week 3. Good matchup versus the Seahawks. No one gives up more points than the Seahawks. We do have a super chat here from Jordan's House. So we appreciate
Jordan
the
Towns.
support. JSN, Gabe Davis, or Hollywood. Other starters are Higgins and D-Hop for my flex. I think you got to go Hollywood after what we saw last week.
I think I don't want to start Hollywood. He's a sit of the week. He's playing the
Okay.
Cowboys. I'm going Gabe Davis here.
Oh, God.
Playing your Commanders. I mean, they surprisingly gave up that big ass Hail Mary to
No, yeah,
Russ.
they did.
And that's kind of what Gabe Davis does. Is he throw the ball up and he's there somehow.
Well, 9 times out of 10, that's knocked down.
You're right. I completely agree with you. But Hollywood against the Hollywood against the Bills, or excuse me, the Cowboys, I don't want any part of. I don't think Josh Dobbs is going to have time. This seems like this Cowboys team just bullies people. They bullied Daniel Jones. They bullied Zach Wilson, and that's exactly what's going to happen to Josh Dobbs here. I don't want.
Yeah,
part
I think
of it.
that's
I'm
fair.
Sorry.
I think that is fair. That's probably the right move. I just don't like starting Gabe Davis in pretty much any scenario, but yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah, I hear you.
Deathlord, we'll be live for another 5 minutes, guys. Another 5 minutes. So if you do want something answered straight away, go ahead and drop a super chat. We gotta end at some point. You know, we can't. We got other things we have to do. Trade Jefferson for Debo and CeeDee Lamb. My team would be Josh Allen, Pollard, Derrick Henry, CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs, Mark Andrews, and Debo. 12-man league, believe it or not. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it as well.
Akshay says, thoughts on this trade? Trading away Lockett and Rachaad White for Kirk and Ramondre. I don't want to buy Christian Kirk personally. There'll be a video out here in your guys' morning as to why. But yeah, Kirk's not someone I really want to buy, so I would keep Lockett.
This one's interesting because I would rather have Ramondre Stevenson. I think this is an even trade. I think we would know this true answer if Zach is right about Kirk not really seeing those opportunities. Then clearly you want Lockett, but I think we will find that out. I think hopefully this week maybe we'll see if Zay Flower does play.
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones, excuse me.
So
with the trends.
in week 1, Zay Jones played 89% of snaps. He saw all the 2 wide receiver sets. Kirk was only in 3 wide receivers in the slot. Okay. In week 2, Zay Jones missed time. He went from 89% to 66%. And that helped Christian Kirk have an incredible day, as well as the matchup, which we talked about. Kansas City gives up a ton of points to slot wide receivers. They did last year. They're doing it this year. It was a perfect storm. So ideally, what the Texans or what the Jags want to do is Zay and Calvin on 2 wide receiver sets. Ethan says full PPR. Garrett Wilson, Addison, London, DJ Moore, really tough one. So what, we have to choose one. Jeez.
Another one here. I mean,
I would go Addison, I guess.
Yeah, Addison has a great matchup here. I mean, so does London, so does DJ. Well, let's go Addison. Let's keep it there. I lost almost all my running backs due to injury. Waiver wires pickup is Mostert or Warren. Mostert.
Yep.
PPR 10. Need a flex. Who to start? Miles Sanders, Swift, Zach Moss, Drake London.
Should be Sanders for me this week.
Yeah, Drake London is a close second there, depending on your running backs. I think I'm going Drake London actually there.
Okay. Would you rather have James Cook or White rest of season? I have to say James Cook there.
Yeah, I'm going James Cook.
Kendre Miller's someone that you definitely want to roster this week just to see what happens. You know, he probably is a starter if he's healthy. Yeah, Monty's saying you'll miss a couple weeks. Staff saying day to day. It's probably somewhere in between, right? No, Tony Jones is not worth picking up. I promise you. Tua or Herbert. I'll go Herbert this week.
I'm going Herbert this week as well against the Vikings.
Gator says, as my roster currently sits, would you start Rashawn Johnson or Justice Hill to slot in for Nick Chubb? This would probably be
I'm going
Rashawn Johnson this week.
This one's interesting, but I kind of bought in the waiver wire video about Justice Hill. I like him a lot.
Okay.
So give me Justice Hill. I think both are close.
I think you're right. Actually, my bad.
Justice Hill is playing, if I'm not mistaken, the Colts.
Yep.
So give me Justice.
Yeah, I think that's actually the right move there. For some reason, the the Ravens are like stuck on using Justice Hill.
They're going
For some
50-50
reason.
right now.
Like
it looks
Justice Hill is just not efficient at all. Gus looks like the much better runner, and they're like, we're gonna keep using Justice.
But what's interesting
Maybe they're
about
slow
Hill is that
playing Gus Edwards back from injury.
maybe what's interesting about Hill is that he's getting the work in the air, and I think
Mhm.
that's what's really intriguing. Where, if I'm not mistaken, Gus, I read something that Gus hasn't had a target in 2 years, which is true. But you have to remember that he didn't play last year because he was injured. So,
Yeah.
yeah, which is so funny. Anyways,
Um,
trade Mike Evans for Brian Robinson. I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not either.
All right.
Bernard, I'm actually dropping that later tonight, man. That's probably going to be it for today, guys. We did say we would only go to the top of the hour. It's been 2 hours. So appreciate all of you guys. For everyone who's over with us on the Flock Fantasy website and has used our promo code LAND, you guys will be able to access my rankings over 300 plus players ranked. That will be out here, I would say, in about 3 or 4 hours. I'm working on it now. I'm trying to get it all right, and it'll be out for you guys soon. Outside of that, go watch the videos that we just released, start and sits of the week at running back and wide receiver positions. And tomorrow we will have trade videos out for running backs and wide receivers as well. Outside of that, that is it for today. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging with us. Sorry we weren't able to get to everyone's question, but we do always try our best, obviously. If you have a question and we didn't get to it, hit us up in the fantasy hotline, that DM that you get when you sign up to the Flock Fantasy website, and we'll answer there. Outside of that, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, all love.